So now I'm going to be talking about speech sounds from Octavia Butler. I called this one No Anything Allowed, Only Body Language, because that's basically what the story is. So, Speech Sounds by Octavia Butler takes place in, like, this alternate universe where, there was a virus and it took away people's abilities to speak, read, and write, or like some combination of them. It's common for people to retain one of these abilities in the story, like in this universe, but people like don't want to reveal which one they can do or if they can do any because people like created people got mad at each other for being more literate than them, I guess. So, people are mostly reliant on body language, and due to, like, people becoming really, like, mad at each other, it led to, like, this giant fallout, so it's, like, really dystopian and stuff. So the main character is Rai, and she used to be a professor, and then, yeah, and this story is basically about her, and then she's, like, going through her day, and she's, like, really depressed and stuff, and then she's, like, finds this guy, and she likes him, and then he dies, and then she's like upset and depressed again. But then she finds two children who appear to be cured of the virus, and she's able to take them in, and she has hope for the world because that means that there's a generation that exists that do not have said virus. So the only part of the story I remembered before I looked up like a summary was the part where Rai and Obsidian have sex. Yeah. That's basically the only part I remember, and I remember that she like had her little bundle of wheat and she showed it to him, and then he like showed her the rock that he had. Yeah. So the theme of speech sound, I think that the themes are basically like the importance of communication, which is pretty much like the entire story, and like because communication is so important, like verbal, oral communication, it's really important in the story because like obviously without it there was a lot of room for miscommunication amongst people and it led to like big fallout. But I also think that it's also talking about how important communication is and how we have so many ways to communicate, and we can communicate with speech, with text, and like it's important to be able to like be in control of your body language and everything. And yeah, and then I also said that this could also be indicative of how easy it is for people to separate themselves from others rather than to find like common ground with them, because like just because of everyone got like separated because some of them couldn't write, some of them couldn't talk, and some of them couldn't read, like they all were, you know, they all decided that they were gonna be mad at each other because they were different. And they like got jealous of each other and everything. As far as historical context goes, I found that the story was written during the Cold War, so it's possible that the virus that the story is about was a cause of biological warfare or something of the sort. And a lot of people also think that the pandemic could have been based upon the AIDS pandemic that was going on at the time. Character development. So basically, Rai is the only character that stays in the story, and I mentioned this at the beginning, but like at first she's all depressed and upset and stuff, especially since she really enjoyed reading and that sort of stuff because she was a professor, and now she can only talk. So like, yeah. And she starts off very lonely and she's upset, but then she has sex with Obsidian, she falls in love with him, and she's all happy and stuff, but then he gets shot, and then she's upset again, but then she finds those two children who are not infected with the virus, and she's happy again because she can help to raise the new generation. As far as relatability goes, I was able to relate to Rai because she was lonely for a lot of the story, and she was in emotional distress. And then her being able to get comforted through having contact with others was also really relatable to me, because sometimes when I'm upset, I just need to like hang out with my friends and they'll make me feel better again. And then as far as worldview goes, I already like believed in a lot of the values that were present in this text, such as, you know, like the importance of communication and all that. So like my views weren't really changed. just because I already had them, but they were supported by the events that took place in the short story. And that's all.